I'm Erin Arthur, your lead negotiator, back with your final update for the bargaining year. The two main issues we were working on in mediation were salary and binding arbitration. We worked into the night last night. We brought in CTA representatives. The district brought in school services, all to ensure we were getting the best deal possible. So let's start with salary. In the end, the Faculty Association and the district agreed to 2.5% salary increase this year. 2% will be retroactive to June of 2018, and the other 0.5% will be implemented in June of 2019. If you remember, the district's initial offer was 0.27%. This fight we took on was tough, but we were able to get nearly 10 times their initial offer. So how does that look in relation to COLA? COLA this year is 3.7%. Our 2.5% salary increase, plus the increase to the health insurance cap of 0.73%, gave us 3.23%. We feel confident we got the best deal possible in regards to salary this year. However, we do remain committed to changing the district's budgeting process. The district's current process puts us last in line, which cannot continue. The district never budgets for a raise, so we will be starting next year's negotiations in May to help ensure our salary increases are a planned part of next year's budget. We are tired of fighting over scraps. Be on the lookout for a survey to help inform the bargaining team soon. The other issue that was resolved in mediation was binding arbitration. To recap quickly, without binding arbitration, our school board could override any grievance that was already settled by an independent arbitrator, and they had power to have the final say in grievance issues. It's like if you bought a car, the bank didn't uphold their terms of the loan, so you took them to court, then the bank could override the court's decision. It's vital to have binding arbitration to have power in our contract. The board, as a party of the contract, should never have the authority to arbitrate problems with upholding that contract. We have a few board members who have been unwilling to give up the power that the board held. Your collective action helped us get movement on this issue. We were able to get binding arbitration for 3 years as an MOU, which is a temporary agreement, with language included that at the end of 3 years, we will consider making the binding arbitration agreement permanent. This is a huge step in the right direction. We made some other great changes to the contract this year. We increased our hourly rate to $39.62, and it will now be indexed to the percent our salary increases each year. We now have a class size average for the first semester. Previously, we only had an average of 31.57 for the second semester, which allowed the district to pack our classes during the first semester. The district now has to adhere to an average of 32.57 for the first semester. Let me assure you, we did not agree to an increase of class sizes. We put limits on the first semester while allowing for the natural attrition that happens over the school year. There were also changes made to the department chair position. We now have a written job description, and there were changes made to the stipend structure as well. Before, we had stipends based on subject area, which really wasn't a fair way to compensate. Now stipends are based on the size of the department, and all department chair stipends were given an increase. Support funds will now be based on the number of FTE in each department. Lastly, we will now have a stipend AP coordinator and AVID coordinator at each site. These are great opportunities to encourage new teacher leaders and for teachers to have more of a voice in these programs. So what's next? We will have this tentative agreement ready to vote on next week. If approved, it will go before the board for a vote of approval. We'll let you know when to expect retro checks once we have more information. I want to end this by thanking all of you who got out there. All of you who held signs, who shared on social media, who attended board meetings, who asked questions, people who discussed in the halls, and those of you who made posters. We could not do this without you. Bargaining is won at the workplace, not at the table. Because you all stepped up, we did better than we ever thought we would. So thank you, and we can't wait to build on the momentum next year.